Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are jumping headfirst into the world of online sports betting. It can be a ton of fun, but let's be real, it's also a landscape filled with hidden traps. So, we're going to break down exactly how you can spot those fraudulent sites and, most importantly, keep your money safe. So, here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll get a handle on the risks out there. Then, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of 6 specific scam tactics you have to watch out for. We'll look at some real-life horror stories, build a solid 4-step defense plan, and wrap up with what to do if the worst happens and you've already been scammed. All right, let's get into it. First section, we're calling this the online betting minefield. And for good reason. It is absolutely crucial to understand the landscape you're stepping into, because believe me, not all betting sites are playing the same game. And that really brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? You see this huge, flashy bonus offer. How do you know if it's a genuine promotion to get you in the door, or if it's just the bait on a very nasty hook? Well, here's the tough part. Online betting scams are, unfortunately, pretty much the norm. These sketchy sites are built from the ground up to prey on newcomers, using those unbelievable bonuses and super confusing terms and conditions to trick you. So, how do they actually pull it off? Let's pull back the curtain and look at their playbook. We're going to cover the 6 most common tactics these scammy sites use. These are the red flags that you absolutely positively cannot afford to ignore. All right, tactic number 1, and it's the oldest trick in the book, the extravagant bonus. If you see a brand new site offering a bonus that is just miles better than what the big established companies are offering, that should be your first warning bell. You've heard it a million times, but if it seems too good to be true, it is. Okay, tactic number 2 is all about delaying your withdrawals. So you've won, you feel great, and you want to cash out. But suddenly, there are problems. They'll say it's your bank's fault, or they'll suddenly need a dozen more documents from you. Their goal is really simple. They want you to get so frustrated that you just give up and bet your winnings away. And what happens if you hit a really big win? Oh, they have an excuse for that too. You'll hear this one all the time. Sorry, that was a mistake during the live odds update. And just like that, they void your winning bet. It's their get-out-of-jail-free card for not paying you what you're owed. Now, this next one is just sneaky. Imagine you get a bonus that says you have to wager the amount 5 times. So you do it. You meet the requirement. But when you go to cash out, the money is locked. You check the terms again, and what do you know? They've secretly changed it to an 8 times wager. They literally move the goalposts so you can never actually win. Tactic number 5 is what I call constant maintenance. Look, every website goes down for updates now and then. But if your site is under maintenance all the time, especially during big games or peak hours, that's a huge red flag. It can be a sign they're getting ready to pack up, shut down the site, and just vanish with everyone's cash. And finally, we've arrived at the most important red flag of all, poor regulation. You have to understand that not all licenses are created equal. Where a site gets its operating license is a direct signal of how trustworthy it is. A weak license means there's basically no one holding them accountable if they decide to rip you off. It's why doing your homework is key. And hey, if you are looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for betplace.us in your browser. Now, this isn't all just theory. To really understand how bad this can get, let's look at some real-world examples. These are true stories of what happens when bets go really, really bad. Let's talk about the World Sports Exchange, or WSX. For a while, they were a big, respected name. But then came legal troubles, a move to Antigua, and slowly, things started to fall apart. By 2008, the complaints were flooding in from players saying their payments were frozen. The site was basically holding their money hostage. And by the time the dust settled, the estimated amount that WSX owed its own players was a jaw-dropping $650,000. We're talking about real people who lost serious, life-changing money. And WSX wasn't some isolated case. Look at this. Companies like FutureBet and Sportsbook.ag did the same kinds of things, freezing accounts, using an old reputation to look legit, and they scammed players out of hundreds of thousands, and in FutureBet's case, over $1 million. Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. The good news is you are not helpless. You can absolutely protect yourself. So let's build your 4-step defense plan to make sure you're betting safely and smartly. It really boils down to these 4 things. Number 1, and this is the most important, choose a strictly regulated site. Number 2, actually read what other players are saying. 3, lean on trusted expert ratings. And number 4, Just build your own experience so you can start to spot these warning signs yourself. Let's double down on that first step because it is everything. Licenses from places like the UK Gambling Commission or the Malta Gaming Authority, those are the gold standard. They have teeth, they enforce strict rules to protect players. On the other hand, licenses from places like Curaçao or Antigua, well, they often provide very little protection if something goes wrong. If you're looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for BetPlace US in your browser. Now, as you do this more, you'll start to develop a kind of scam radar. You'll just get a gut feeling for this stuff. Did you get a random call with a can't-miss offer? Are they pressuring you to deposit money right now? Any kind of high-pressure sales tactic like that is a massive warning sign to just walk away. But okay, what if it happens? What if, despite all your best efforts, you get taken for a ride? Let's walk through the final crucial steps on how to take action. The very first thing you need to hear is this: do not blame yourself. Seriously, these scams are designed to be convincing, and it has happened to even the most savvy, experienced players out there. It's not about what happened, it's about what you do next. You've got 3 main moves. First, scroll to the bottom of their homepage, find that license information, and file a complaint directly with that gambling authority. Second, reach out to a third-party customer protection agency. And third, and this is huge, warn other players. Get on forums, get on review sites, and share your story so you can prevent someone else from falling into the same trap. And that just about wraps it up. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you know all the red flags, what's the very first thing you're going to check before you even think about signing up for a new betting site? Having that answer in your head is your single best defense. By the way, if you are looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for betplace.us in your browser. Thanks for tuning in.